if you're giving them a freebie that's just generic and from Google, they're probably not going to buy from you later on. It's very important for you to watch your subscribe rates and unsubscribe rates. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Call Her Creator, powered by Stan. I'm your host, Caitlin Rhodes, also known as Social Marketing Queen over on Instagram. And today we are going to talk about creating high converting sales funnels. I thought this would be extremely appropriate considering that the last two episodes we've been talking about how to build your own digital offer. So now that you've done all the research that you need to do to create an offer, you've created it. Now we're going to talk about the promotional side. Now, last week's episode, part 2, we talked about promoting your digital offer, but today we're going to really just talk about the entire sales funnel that goes into it all. We want a high converting sales funnel. So just because we made that offer doesn't mean you just go promote it, day by day without some kind of plan in place. So that's where the sales funnel comes in. So today we're going to be talking about a couple different things that go into a sales funnel. We'll dive into the world of sales, a powerful tool that can turn your followers into paying customers if you actually have a strategy behind it. So what even is a sales funnel? A lot of people don't even know what that means. So if you're new here, a sales funnel is a step-by-step process that guides potential customers from the moment they first discover you all the way to them making that final purchase of your product or offer. It's kind of like a roadmap that takes someone from just being a follower to actually being a loyal customer. So we're going to walk you through all of that. So why are sales funnels even a thing? Why are they so crucial for your sales strategy? The reason being is because without a structured approach, you might have like thousands of followers, but really there's no clear path to convert their interest into sales. So a well-designed funnel nurtures those relationships with your followers that you can build trust. You can ultimately make it easier for your audience to say, you know what? Hey, I want to buy from her. She knows what she's talking about. I trust her. She's nurtured this relationship between us. I'm going to buy from her. So whether you're selling a digital product or even a physical good, to be honest, mastering the art of the sales funnel is what is going to significantly boost your revenue and help you create a sustainable business. So today we're going to dive into building that funnel. So that's going to include talking about a lead magnet. What is a lead magnet? How should you make one? How do you decide what you're going to make? The email sequence that comes with all of this, where you should be promoting all of this, and then how you will actually convert those people. So if you are new here, like I said, the last two episodes were kind of the preface of this episode. So make sure if you haven't listened to those yet, I think it was episode 33 and 34, go listen to those and then come back to this episode. Unless you already have your offer and you don't really need to understand how to make one. If you're already there, then continue listening. Before we get into today's episode, I usually give you guys some kind of social media update, and I did want to update you guys on Instagram. So the algorithm was a little crazy last week. If you saw posts that you think would normally get very good engagement, but you saw it like getting an embarrassing amount of engagement, which was me. There was a glitch going on last week. So a couple different things. One, there was a glitch with the algorithm. Like I think they're updating things. So things are changing. So they probably showed your post to only a few people and not as many as normal. If you were able to wait 72 hours, it did kind of kick up. My views definitely started kicking up, but I'm the type that's like, don't delete. But I actually ended up deleting like 2 videos because the views were so substantially low than what they normally are. I deleted them. I knew something was going on. Then I went over to Threads and there was a bunch of people complaining. So I knew something was happening. On the other side of that, Instagram just like shut down completely for Turkey. So all of those people, which is a huge chunk of Instagram's audience, all those people weren't able to access Instagram. I don't even know if they still are, but that's another part of your low views probably, is like a big chunk of your audience is gone. So if that was you, if you felt those changes, hang in there. What I suggest doing is if you had some content put out that you know was really, really good and it performed really bad, save that content, re-download it and repurpose it, reshare it next week. Maybe change your hook, maybe don't, maybe just delete the one that performed really bad and repost it this next week. Hopefully things are getting back in the groove there. And then one more thing I want to note here, with school starting again, the fall season coming, this is usually a really good season for Instagram now that people are getting done with vacations. So you should start to see a little pep in your step as far as growth goes. Hopefully, knock on wood over here. We're getting out of that slow summer slump. So that is something to look forward to. Okay, guys, so I kind of broke this down into different segments, kind of like I did for the last episode, so that it's super easy for us to understand. So as we get started, let's first talk about what exactly a sales funnel is. So a sales funnel is essentially a step-by-step process that guides potential customers from the moment they first discover you all the way to making a purchase. We're going to break down the different stages that a typical sales funnel includes, all right? So there's awareness, interest, decision, and action, also known as the AIDA method. I have talked about this, AIDA model, sorry, not method, model. Talked about this in a very, very early episode of Call Her Creator. We talked about a sales funnel. That was more for like a very, very beginner who's never heard of that word before, probably. This is a little more experienced. You kind of been in the game. You kind of know what a digital offer is. You know what awareness is when it comes to the purchasing decision. So this episode is going to be really good. It's got some really good insights and actual real examples for you to follow along with. So when it comes to the awareness part of the model, there's awareness, interest, decision, action. The awareness is what we're going to talk about first. This is the top of your funnel. So we are, if you can't see me on camera right now, we're looking at an upside down triangle, okay? The awareness is at the top, then you go down to interest, then you go down to decision, then you go down to action. That is your upside down triangle. Awareness, this is the top of the funnel where potential customers first discover you, okay? They may have found you through social media, maybe they read a blog post, maybe word of mouth, maybe one of you talked about my podcast to one of your friends and so they heard about me. At this stage, the goal here is to just make them aware of who you are and what you offer. You're not trying to sell to them. You're just saying, hey, what's up? I'm Caitlin. I've got this podcast, Call Her Creator. Come listen. And then the next step is interest. Once they're aware of you, you're going to try to pique their interest a little bit. The next stage is generating that interest. You're going to provide valuable content that engages them and makes them want to learn more about what you have to offer. This could be through blog posts, videos, lead magnets, like free guides or checklists, okay? So they're aware of you, then you're piquing their interest, and then the decision stage comes up, okay? This is where your audience is considering you. They're considering whether or not to purchase from you. This is where you are able to present them with your product or your service as the best solution for their problem, whatever that might be. You might share testimonials with them, case studies, maybe detailed product info to help them kind of make an informed decision. But this is the part where they're really deciding if they want to work with you or not, if you have what they need. And then the final stage of the AIDA model is where they decide if they're going to purchase from you. They make a purchase. This is the goal of the whole funnel. This is the whole goal. It's turning that interest and consideration into a concrete action like buying your product or your offer or your service. So let's just take it back a little bit. I want to give you guys a real life example. So I have a friend, shout out to my friend Caitlin. She just started this Instagram profile where she's sharing about toxic-free home. Like she's teaching mamas how to switch out toxic stuff for non-toxic. And there's a lot of creators out there like that, like motherhood creators who are wanting to do stuff like that. So I was like, that's a perfect example for this episode. So we're going to just talk about this motherhood creator. Okay. So we're focusing on a motherhood creator who specializes in non-toxic swaps for a healthy home. So her awareness stage at the top of that funnel, she can start by sharing educational content on Instagram. This can be reels, posts, stories. Just start talking about the dangers of common household toxins and easy swaps that you can make at home to make your home safer, to make your kids safer. This content is what's going to attract moms who are interested in creating a healthier environment for their families. So, like I said, I've seen a couple different types of women out there that are doing stuff like this. I'm always attracted to this information because it's typically like I'll see like an educational reel and I know that I'm a mama with children and I want them to obviously have like a toxic free environment at home. So that's how they get you in with their awareness. Then comes the interest. To build interest, these creators could offer like a free download, maybe a guide that's titled something like 10 easy non-toxic swaps for a healthier home. Moms can then download this guide by signing up using their email. So then my friend or whoever you are doing this creating, you're going to get my email in exchange for that guide. This will help you stay in touch with me stay in touch with you, gives you the opportunity to nurture mine and yours relationship. And then the decision part comes after I've downloaded this guide. You're going to send me a series of follow-up emails that dive deeper into the benefits of non-toxic living. So you might include tips for identifying hidden toxins, product recommendations that you like, success stories from other moms who've made the switch. And then you can introduce your big offer. Maybe that's an ebook that they have to pay for or a course. This is where you make your money. So you attract them in by educating them. Then you pique their interest with this free downloadable guide. And then you got that opportunity to offer them something that they have to pay for. With that offer that you have, the final step of that model is action. So what you could do there is you could create some urgency for me to buy that book, that ebook, whatever it is that you made. Maybe you offer me a discount if I buy by a certain amount of time, or maybe you're only giving out 20 of these guides, so it's best that I buy one now before they all sell out. Whatever it is, you could try to pique my interest by setting a timer, like putting some urgency on that offer for me to buy. Now, you don't even have to do that. At the end of the day, like if you just want to follow your sales funnel, once you get to this action stage, like you don't have to really worry about the urgency part as long as you are worried about the sales part. This is where you're going to sell to me. So by now they've received so much value from your free content to your educational emails. They're probably more likely to see the benefit of investing in your paid product because you've nurtured them to the point where they're ready to buy. So that is your real life example of utilizing the AIDA model. Just to back it up one more time: awareness, interest, decision, action. That is how your sales funnel flows. So during that sales funnel, there was the decision part, the decision step. And we said during that decision step, that's when you could offer them something free in exchange for something of theirs. So typical ideas here, you might have like a realtor give a free home valuation in exchange for their address and phone number. For this mommy guide, they were giving the free non-toxic swap out guide in exchange for an email. I have a ton of freebies. I'll give out a free checklist for your profile to make sure that is optimized in exchange for your email because I want to nurture you. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but you do need that lead magnet or that freebie. So how do you create an irresistible lead magnet or freebie? I'm about to tell you. So what even is that? What does that mean? Some of y'all are probably like, what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is a valuable free resource that you offer to your audience in exchange for their contact information, typically their email address. But again, I told you guys the realtor example, they're asking for an address and a phone number. So it depends on what you find valuable that you want to give in exchange for your freebie. It's like a gift that provides immediate value, something that addresses a problem, answers a question, or offers a solution that your audience actually cares about. The key to a successful lead magnet is that it's highly relevant to your audience's needs and it's enticing enough for them to share their information with you. So I know you're like, dang, I'm making this thing for free and giving it to them for free. Yes, you are, but you're also gaining valuable information from them. They're giving you their contact info. So if I'm going to give you my contact info, you better give me a good enough offer or freebie. Like I better not be downloading something that I can just go find off of Google. You better give me real true value. You're the expert of this topic that I have a pain point with. So you better give me something good in that freebie, because here's something you guys need to remember. That freebie is really your first impression on these people. So if you're giving them a freebie that's just generic and from Google, they're probably not going to buy from you later on. People need true value if you want them to keep buying from you, if you want them to trust you. So don't be giving off any generic crap they can find off of Google. You need to be giving them something of high value that they're going to be like, oh, this girl knows what she's talking about. Let me go back and buy from her again. So once you get these people on your email list, or you've got their phone number, whatever it is, you can nurture the relationship with them through targeted content, eventually guiding them towards purchasing your paid products or your services. There are different types of lead magnets to choose from. I'm going to give you guys some real life examples in a minute, but just to kind of bump them off of my head, there's an ebook, there's checklists, there's webinars, there's quizzes. So really choose what feels right to you, what sounds fun to you, what aligns with your offer, and then that will help you decide. My personal favorite is guides. I like PDF guides. I'm a person that likes to read and highlight things and touch it. So when I get a guide, I know that I have the option also to print it out. So it's like something I can hold, it's tangible. Because I like guides, I typically will give guides out as my freebie. So I had a Reels challenge that was for free. It's now paid and gated because I added a lot to it and it's really, really good. I have a free Instagram profile checklist. I have a free launch checklist. Speaking of launch checklists, if you are in the beginning stages of your offer and you need help creating a freebie, grab this free launch checklist. It's actually in the description of this episode today. It's going to walk you through how to launch your freebie. And then there's some linked podcast episodes that will also educate you while you're doing it all. It's really, really helpful. Okay, so some real life lead magnet examples. The easiest way to choose your lead magnet is to think about the problems your audience is facing and how you can actually address those problems and help them directly. So I told you guys when you give these offers, they need to provide immediate value. Okay, so just keep that in mind that whatever you do create, it's not generic. It is going to truly provide value to them. So quality is key here. Now I've got 10 examples of lead magnets that you guys can create and promote. The first one is like a niche starter kit. So maybe a toxic free starter kit. This is going to be like a downloadable toolkit that includes essential resources, templates, checklists to help beginners get started in yada yada. Make sure y'all writing this down. The next one is a challenge. Niche challenge. Again, remember you guys, I had the Reels challenge. A free 7-day challenge that guides participants through actionable steps to achieve a specific goal. Challenges are probably the easiest to make and the most fun to make and probably the most impactful to make, because if someone really goes through your 7-day challenge, they should see results, right? Just to make myself feel better. Remember how I told you my Reels challenge was free, but now it's paid? That's because this is actually a 30-day Reels challenge and it's got extra editing tips and resources included with it. So that's why I ended up changing it to a paid option versus a freebie. So just keep that in mind. But if I wanted to entice people into grabbing my 30-day Reels challenge, I could easily do a free day 7-day challenge and then push them to the paid challenge. So keep that in mind. Next one is a checklist. It's maybe a comprehensive checklist that helps your audience ensure they've covered all the critical steps in achieving whatever goal that is. A quiz. Amy Porterfield has one of these out right now. I fell for it because I wanted to know what entrepreneurial spirit I was. I loved it, by the way, and she's been nurturing me since I did that quiz. So this is an engaging quiz that helps your audience identify their strengths, challenges, or ideal strategies in their specific niche. And then you give personalized recommendations at the end. And that's exactly what Amy does. After she delivers your results of who you are, what entrepreneurial spirit you have, she then gives recommendations on what kind of offer you should be promoting in your business. And then from there, she sells here's how to build your own course. And it's a course that she has. So she's doing it great. I love watching Amy's marketing strategies because I think she does a really good job at it. So if you're not following her, I've never heard of her, look up Amy Porterfield. I aspire to be similar to her as far as business goes. Then we've got a workbook. I've seen people in meditation space, yoga space. I've seen a lot of people do workbooks here because then they can journal. So this is a fillable workbook that guides your audience through a process or a strategy with exercises and prompts. Love that idea. I think that's easy. A template pack. I have this as not a freebie, actually. I charge for this, but template, you can make a template pack, a collection of customizable templates. Maybe there's social media posts, email scripts, planning documents, whatever it is. It depends what kind of industry you're in, but you could definitely sell a pack of templates. Video training. This is a free video training series where you share expert tips or techniques in your niche with actionable steps that they can implement immediately. Resource guide, a curated list of tools, apps, or resources that you recommend for success in a specific niche. I have a top AI tools resource guide. I'm going to link that too in the notes of this podcast episode, because in case any of you want to put together a freebie that consists of like a list or a resource guide, you can look at mine. A case study. I've never done a case study, but I did used to work for an agency back in the day, and they were very big on case studies. I don't really think that they're as popular as they used to be as far as freebies go, but if you wanted to, you could do a detailed case study showing how you or your client achieves significant results in your specific niche, and then show the strategies and steps that were taken to get to that goal. And then the last freebie we have is a strategy session. So maybe you offer like a free 15-minute strategy session where you provide advice to them or a quick audit, helping them identify key areas for improvement. And then of course, later on, you could offer them a full 1-hour strategy session, upsell your time. So that is 10 lead magnets that you can truly think about what you want to pick out and use one of those. All of these are really, really great ideas. It really just depends on the person that you are. That's how you're going to decide which one you want to choose there. Now, creating the lead magnet, again, I'm going to go back to episode 33 and 34. I walked you guys step by step on how to create your lead magnet or your digital offer. They're both kind of the same thing. But just to give some notes here, I start by brainstorming on a piece of paper. Then I move to a Google document. Then I start speaking with ChatGPT to tighten it up, make it even better. Then I proofread it and edit it. I make peers proofread and edit. And then I put it into a Canva template. I brand it, design it, and then save it and start selling it. Now, where should you start promoting this freebie once you have it put together? There are so many places besides just social media that we're going to talk about that you can promote your offer at. Once you've created your compelling lead magnet, the next step is to make sure it's easy for your followers, your audience to find. Also make it easier for them to access. So strategic placement is key to maximizing the amount of signups you get. I personally use Instagram stories, reels, post. I've also ran Facebook ads on my freebies. That's how I grew. I don't want to put a number on it because I don't remember, but I grew a substantial amount of email subscribers by running a paid ad for my freebie. Of course, I had to pay for it, but essentially, I kind of feel like, yeah, I paid this money for an ad that was giving away a freebie, but what I get in return, a crap ton of emails that I now nurture on and sell to. So it was worth it for me. So there's a few different placements where you can put your freebie. One, website pop-ups. Maybe you have a website pop-up. Basically, when someone hops on your website, something pops up and says, hey, grab our free guide to 10 toxic free swaps that you can make right now. And then they put in their email and you email it to them. That's a website pop-up. If you choose to do a website pop-up, make sure that the pop-up is well timed. For example, I learned early on, if you do a pop-up right when someone lands on your website, it hits them in the face and they exit out immediately. So give it a few seconds, time it well to where it's a few seconds after they've started scrolling on your website before that pop-up comes up. Next one is your Instagram bio, of course. Put it in your stand store. This is prime real estate because it lives right there on your link in bio on your Instagram page. Use strong call to actions. Another little tidbit here, you can actually utilize the real estate space in your bio to say freebie checklist with the emojis pointing down so they know to click your stand store. And then when they open your stand store, they'll see the freebie there. So that's a way to kind of grab attention. Instagram posts, create regular posts that highlight the benefit of getting your lead magnet. Use compelling visuals, reels, post, whatever it is whatever kind of content you like posting on Instagram, use that to promote your freebie. Make sure you include a clear call to action. I switched to DM automation once I started promoting my offers on my Instagram account. So now I say comment the word buy and you'll get my checklist on ABCD, whatever it is. So I use DM automation to deliver that lead magnet. Now, if you're not using DM automation yet, then you can simply say something like, comment the word guide and I'll DM it to you. And then you'll just have to go in and physically DM it to them versus DM automation. That saves you a lot of time. Instagram stories. I love to sell in Instagram stories. I think it's the easiest place for you to sell your freebie or your offer because those are warm leads. Those are people who are typically already following you on Instagram, so they know who you are, so you're not having to sell to a cold audience. You can feature your lead magnet, like maybe do a poll, like, are you struggling with XYZ? Let them vote. And then the next slide says, if you said yes, grab this free checklist, yada, yada. That's how you push it. Email signature. This was a new one. When I was doing research for this episode, I never thought about putting my freebie in my email signature, but like that's probably a really good place to put it. You could put something like, get your free 10 Canva templates by clicking here on my email signature and then push them to my Stan store or my landing page. Blog posts are also a really great place to promote lead magnets and freebies. Back before Instagram was really blowing up for me, I definitely used my blogs to promote my freebies. I would write the blog and then I'd sprinkle in that lead magnet. I'm saying lead magnet and freebie like interchangeably because they're really the same thing, in case you don't know that. But I'd sprinkle it right into the blog post and then right at the end as well as my main call to action. And then landing pages or your Stan store. Create a dedicated page specifically for that lead magnet and design it to convert your audience. I specifically, when I do this, I will use ChatGPT to help me write a really good salesy landing page. So what I'll do is I'll kind of write out what I think is best to sell my product or my offer or my lead magnet. And then I'll ask ChatGPT something like, hey, pretend I'm the lead sales VP of the company and we need to optimize this sales page to get more conversions. And then he'll go in and edit it and makes it 10 times better than what I could ever write myself. All right. So now you know what kind of lead magnets there are. Now let's talk about promoting the lead magnet through email. Because at the end of the day, once they get this freebie, your next step is to have an email sequence set up with that freebie. So they get the freebie, and then for the next couple of days, you are going to drip on them with emails because the main goal here is to upsell them to something that they have to pay for. So when it comes to an email sequence, I think it's critical because it keeps your audience engaged. So it's not like they just grab your freebie and then they forget all about you. Like, no, they grabbed your freebie and now you're on their email sequence and you're about to get dripped on a couple days. And I'm going to learn even more. I'm going to get some educational value out of this. And I'm also then going to maybe get offered something that will help my main pain point. So the way that I do email sequencing, whenever I don't call it email sequencing, I actually call it email drip campaign. I will set up an email drip campaign after they grab my freebie. So typically what that looks like for me is first they're going to get a welcome email from me, introduction, thank you for signing up, brief overview of what they're about to get. Then I will send them a value-driven email. This is just going to be super duper valuable email with some tips or insights about the specific area that they're struggling with. Email 3 is going to be a soft sell. I'll introduce my product or my service and I'll focus on how it can solve the problem that they have. Then number 4, maybe I send over a testimonial or some social proof showing that my offer really works just to add some credibility. Email 5, I am direct sales, baby. I am going to present a clear and compelling offer for you, strong CTA, and I'm going to hope to goodness that you buy my offer. And then email number 6, maybe they didn't listen to your little sales pitch that you had. So you send up one more little follow-up, remind them that, hey, you didn't take action. You did not take advantage of this special opportunity to grow your Instagram or get a toxic-free home, whatever it is. I basically will say something like, hey, I noticed you didn't grab my 30 days Reels challenge. I'm going to offer you 10% off. Hope you'll get it, or something that just like creates the urgency. Oh, I'm sorry. Back this up. I actually say, hey, I noticed you didn't grab the Reels challenge. Here's 10% off. This expires in the next 24 hours. So that's what I do. I give them like a little discount, and then I put urgency on it by saying this will disappear in 24 hours. Flowdesk is really good for those type of emails, by the way. They have some cool little buttons that you can put in there, like a countdown sticker that really pushes that urgency of buying. I know that Stan also is working on their email marketing tool as well. I personally have not used it yet just because I already had my workflows set up in Flowdesk, but I've heard really great things about Stan's emails tool as well. All right, so now that you've created your lead magnet, you've started promoting it, you have this email drip campaign set up for it, how do you monitor that lead magnet and make sure that everything is performing well? One, you can look at the conversion rate. This is the percentage of people who completed a desired action, like they signed up for your freebie and made a purchase. Conversion rates are what's going to show you how well your funnel is actually working. If you have low conversion rates, then that might indicate that something in your funnel isn't resonating with your audience and you need to go back to the drawing board and maybe optimize some places. I also like to look at the open rates of my email. Open rates tell you how effective your subject lines are on those emails. So if your emails aren't even getting open, you might need to revisit what your subject line says. Click-through rate, this is the percentage of people who actually click on a link in your email. Click-through rates show you how engaging your email content is and how well it's driving traffic. A high click-through rate means that your audience is interested and they are clicking on that offer. Bounce rates, a high bounce rate means that you could have a lot of invalid email addresses. This is basically where the email never even gets delivered to them. It bounces back. Unsubscribe rates. Look at unsubscribe rates. This is the percentage of people who opt out of your email list after receiving an email. A high unsubscribe rate might suggest that your content isn't meeting your audience's expectations, or maybe you're sending too many emails. So it's very important for you to watch your subscribe rates and unsubscribe rates. And then of course, look at your sales and your revenue. Is the main offer, the main paid offer that you're trying to push at the end of all of this, is it getting bought? Are you making money from it? If not, then you need to revisit, maybe look at the price, maybe look at the offering, go back to the drawing board. All right, I feel like I just told you guys a whole lot about sales funnels and lead magnets. And I think that if you actually paid attention and you listened to what I had to say, if you were to follow this podcast episode, you really could truly have like a really good lead magnet out there right now, just running itself, pushing some sales for you. If you need extra help with this stuff, like I said, I'm going to put some freebies in the description for you, a launch checklist. I think I was also going to show you guys off some different types of freebies you can offer too. Like, remember how I told you guys I have like a top AI tools resource guide? Yeah. So I'll put that in there for you guys. And then, yeah, if this episode motivated you, feel free to send me a DM, pick my brain about what your main goal is, who are you trying to target, and I can kind of help you decide if your offer is good or if it needs a little work. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you need me to kind of say, hey, this is a good offer, or hey, I think you need to rethink the title of this offer, I'm happy to help with that. Just send me a DM over on Instagram. All right, if you made it to the end of this episode, I really appreciate you and love you, and I hope you will download Call Her Creator. Please leave me a review and please recommend my podcast to a friend. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see y'all next week.